Ever been in a situation where someone asks you a question and your mind just goes blank? Or you want to sound smart, but the right words just won't come out?
Oh, absolutely. It's happened to the best of us. And that's exactly why we're here today. Welcome to the podcast, everyone, where we help you level up your English skills, one episode at a time.
That's right. Today, we're tackling a challenge that many English learners face: how to think quickly and speak intelligently, even under pressure.
Exactly. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you're in a job interview, and the interviewer asks, "Why should we hire you?" A boring, canned response will kill your chances, but a quick-thinking, intelligent answer? That's what seals the deal.
That's the power we're unlocking today. We're going to break down the steps, share helpful phrases, and give you exercises to train your brain to think faster and speak smarter in English.
So, let's start by defining our terms. What does it actually mean to think quickly? It's not about blurting out the first thing that comes to mind, right?
Precisely. It's about having a clear mind, being able to connect ideas rapidly, and choosing the right words at the right moment.
And speaking intelligently doesn't mean throwing around complicated vocabulary you barely understand. It's about expressing your ideas clearly, logically, and with confidence.
A perfect example. If someone asks your opinion on a topic and you're not sure, don't just say, "I don't know." Instead, try something like, "That's an interesting question. Let me think about it for a second."
That buys you valuable time and makes you sound professional. Okay, let's get practical. We're going to start with some short exercises to get those mental gears turning. I'll ask a question, and you, dear listeners, should try to answer quickly in English. Ready? Here we go. What is your favorite book and why?
Pause for 3 seconds.
Did you give it a shot? Great. Here's one intelligent way to answer. My favorite book is The Alchemist because it teaches me that following your dreams is more important than fearing failure.
See how clear, short, and intelligent that was? Notice the structure. State your answer immediately, give one simple reason, and end with a small conclusion if possible.
That structure works for almost any question. Let's try another one. What is your opinion about technology in education? Listeners, think quickly.
Pause for effect.
Here's an intelligent answer. I think technology in education is very useful because it makes learning more interactive and accessible. However, teachers are still important because they give guidance and personal connection.
Brilliant. You showed you can see both sides of the argument. Quick thinking isn't just about speed, it's about answering in a structured way. So, how can our listeners actually train their brains to think faster?
Great question. There are 3 key steps. First, immerse yourself in English every day. The more input you get, the faster your brain will connect words and ideas. Second, practice answering questions with time limits. Challenge yourself. And third, learn some smart phrases that buy you time while still sounding intelligent.
Let's dive into those smart phrases. These are lifesavers. Here are a few examples. That's a good point, let me think. Interesting question. I believe, from my perspective, it depends, but I would say.
These expressions give your brain a few extra seconds to prepare your main idea, and they make you sound calm and professional. Let's practice together. I'll ask a question, and I'll use a smart phrase to answer. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. Do you think social media is good or bad for society?
That's a good point. Let me think. I believe social media has both positive and negative effects. On the positive side, it connects people and spreads information quickly. On the negative side, it can create addiction and spread fake news.
Perfect. I didn't jump straight into the answer. I used a smart phrase to give myself a moment to breathe. Now it's your turn, listeners. Pick one smart phrase and practice answering the same question.
Pause for 5 seconds.
Moving on to another technique, mind mapping. When you think, your brain works faster if you can organize ideas like a map. For example, if the topic is travel, your mind map might include places you visited, reasons for traveling, benefits, and problems. With this map in your head, you can answer quickly because your ideas are organized.
I love that. Let's put it to the test. Imagine someone asks, "Why do people like traveling?"
Okay, using the mind map, I would answer. People like traveling because it allows them to experience new cultures, relax from daily stress, and learn new perspectives about the world.
See? That's structured, clear, and concise. You don't need long answers to sound intelligent. Sometimes one or two well-chosen sentences are enough. Another important point: confidence. Many people think fast, but they hesitate because they're afraid of making mistakes.
That's so true. Remember, fluency is more important than perfection. Even native speakers make mistakes. The key is to keep talking, keep your flow, and correct yourself naturally if needed. For example, she goes to work every day. That correction shows awareness, but you don't stop the conversation.
Exactly. Now let's play a small game with our listeners. We'll give you a series of quick questions, and you try to answer them in less than 5 seconds each.
Ready? Here we go. 1. What do you usually do on weekends? 2. Who is your favorite actor? 3. Do you prefer coffee or tea? Why? 4. What is one goal you have this year? 5. If you could live anywhere, where would it be?
Pause for 10 seconds.
Excellent. The more you play this kind of game, the faster your brain will respond. And don't worry if your sentences aren't perfect. The goal is speed and clarity, not perfection.
That's right. Think of it like exercising at the gym. Each time you practice, your English brain gets stronger. So, another question. Many of our listeners ask us, how can I stop overthinking when I speak English?
Oh, that's a very common problem. Overthinking slows you down. You start asking yourself, is my grammar correct? Did I choose the right word? Do I sound stupid? And while you think, the conversation moves on.
The solution is focus on communication, not perfection. Imagine you're in a restaurant. You want to order food. You don't need perfect grammar. If you say, I want chicken, please, it's already clear. If you spend 20 seconds trying to make a perfect sentence, the waiter will just stand there waiting.
Yes, and that's why we always tell our listeners, fluency first, accuracy second. Accuracy will come with practice, but fluency comes only when you let go of fear. Let's try a small exercise. I'll ask you a question. You must answer immediately without thinking too much.
All right, hit me.
What's one habit you want to change in your life?
I think I spend too much time on my phone, and I want to read more books instead.
Great. Was it perfect grammar? Maybe not. But was it clear and intelligent? Yes. Now listeners, it's your turn. I will ask you, what's one thing you would like to learn this year? Answer quickly. Don't stop to think too much.
Pause for 5 seconds.
Well done. Remember, practice like this every day will train your brain to answer faster and with confidence. Now let's talk about structure. When you speak, one trick to sound more intelligent is to use the rule of 3.
The rule of 3. Explain that a bit more, if you would.
Sure thing. It means giving 3 short points. For example, question. Why is learning English important? Answer. Because it helps you travel more easily, it improves your career opportunities, and it allows you to connect with people all over the world.
That's brilliant. 3 points are easy to remember, and they make your answer sound complete. And here's another tip. Use contrasts. For example, some people think technology is harmful, but I believe it's very useful if we use it responsibly. This shows you can see both sides of an issue, which makes you sound more thoughtful.
Let's give our listeners a challenge. We'll ask one question, and they should try to answer with 3 points. Why do people enjoy sports?
Pause for 5 seconds.
Here's one possible intelligent answer. People enjoy sports because they keep us healthy, they give us entertainment, and they bring people together. Nice. 3 points, clear and smart.
Now let's talk about vocabulary. Many learners think they need big words to sound intelligent.
True, but in reality you just need the right words. For example, instead of saying very big, you can say huge. Instead of very good, you can say excellent. Simple changes like this make your English more powerful.
Yes, let's practice with our listeners. I'll give a basic phrase, and you'll replace it with a smarter alternative. Very small?
Tiny.
Very bad?
Terrible.
Very happy?
Thrilled.
Very tired?
Exhausted.
Very beautiful?
Gorgeous.
See? These words aren't too difficult, but they make your English sound richer. And here's a pro tip. Don't try to learn 1,000 fancy words at once. Just choose 5 or 6 new words each week and practice using them in sentences.
Exactly. For example, let's practice the word exhausted. Can you make a quick sentence?
After running 5 kilometers, I felt exhausted.
Great. And listeners, your turn. Make a quick sentence with thrilled.
Pause for 5 seconds.
Excellent. The more you practice, the faster these words will come to your mind in real conversations. Let's give our listeners another tool to think quickly: storytelling. When you answer a question with a mini story, you sound natural and intelligent.
Yes, people love stories, even short ones. For example, if someone asks, "Why do you enjoy learning English?" You could just say, "Because it's useful." But that's boring.
Exactly. Instead, try this. When I traveled to Spain last year, I met people from different countries. The only language we could all use was English. That experience showed me how powerful English is.
See? It's short, but it paints a picture. Storytelling makes your answer more memorable. Let's practice. Listeners, I will give you a question. Try to answer with a mini story. Why do you like your favorite hobby?
Pause for 8 seconds.
Great job. Remember, you don't need a long story. Just one example or one memory can make your answer powerful. Another technique is using comparisons.
Comparisons are great. For example, if someone asks, "Why is teamwork important?" You could say, "Teamwork is like playing in a band. If one instrument is missing, the music doesn't sound complete."
Nice. That's a smart answer because comparisons make complex ideas easy to understand. And you don't need perfect grammar to do this. Just simple sentences with like or as. For example, life is like a journey. You learn on the way.
Listeners, your turn. Answer this question with a comparison. Why is practice important in learning English?
Pause for 6 seconds.
One possible answer. Practice is like exercising. The more you train, the stronger your skills become.
Perfect. Now let's talk about intonation and voice. Even if your words are simple, the way you say them can make you sound intelligent.
Yes. Imagine 2 versions of the same answer. 1. I think travel is good because you see new things. Flat voice, no energy. 2. I think travel is great because it lets you experience new things. With energy, rising and falling tone. The second one sounds more confident and smarter, right?
Absolutely. So listeners, don't only focus on words. Practice saying sentences with energy and rhythm. Let's try together. Repeat after us. I believe learning never stops.
Short pause for repetition.
Now with more energy. I believe learning never stops.
Short pause. Did you feel the difference? Intonation can completely change how people see you.
I think we should also show our listeners some strategies for debates or discussions. In debates, people respect answers that are clear, logical, and balanced.
Right. For example, if someone says, "Technology is destroying human relationships," you don't need to panic. You can respond like this. "I understand your point. Technology can create distance, but at the same time, it connects families who live far away. It depends on how we use it."
Excellent. This answer shows respect, balance, and intelligence. Let's give our listeners a formula they can use. 1. Acknowledge the other person's idea. E.g., I see your point. 2. Present your opinion. E.g., but I think technology can also be positive. 3. Give one reason or example.
Perfect. Let's test it. Question. Do you think young people should spend less time on their phones?
I understand the concern. Phones can waste a lot of time, but I also think they give young people access to knowledge and opportunities. The key is balance.
Nice. Clear, respectful, and intelligent. Listeners, now you try. Use the formula.
Pause for 10 seconds.
Another quick trick. Use transitions. Words like first of all. On the other hand, finally, Help organize your thoughts.
Yes. For example, first of all, English helps with travel. Second, it helps in career. And finally, it helps you make friends worldwide.
That's so much clearer than just saying random sentences. Let's challenge our listeners. Question. Why is reading important? Try to answer with 3 transitions. First of all, second, finally.
Pause for 6 seconds.
One possible answer. First of all, reading gives you knowledge. Second, it reduces stress. Finally, it improves your imagination.
Amazing. So, listeners, until now we have covered smart phrases, mind mapping, rule of 3, vocabulary upgrades, storytelling, comparisons, intonation, debate formula, and transitions. That's a lot already. But don't worry, we still have much more to share.
Anna, I think another key idea we should talk about is thinking in English. Many learners translate in their heads from their native language, and that makes them slow.
Exactly. If you always translate, by the time you find the right words, the moment is gone. The secret is to train your brain to think directly in English. But how can our listeners do that?
One simple way is to practice inner monologues. For example, when you're walking, describe what you see in English. I'm walking to the bus stop. The sky is cloudy. I see 2 people talking. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it keeps your brain active in English.
Nice. Another trick is to ask yourself small questions in English during the day. What do I need to buy? Why am I tired right now? What should I eat for lunch?
Yes, and even better, answer those questions in English. This trains your brain to respond quickly without translation. Let's practice right now with our listeners. I'll ask a question, and you should answer immediately in English.
Okay, I'm ready.
What did you eat for breakfast today?
Pause. 5 seconds.
Good. Next question. What are you planning to do this evening?
Pause. 5 seconds.
And one more. What is one thing you are grateful for today?
Pause. 5 seconds.
Excellent. These simple questions train your brain to think faster. Let's move on to another important part. Using examples. When you give examples, your answers sound stronger and more intelligent.
True. Let's compare. Answer 1. Exercise is good. Answer 2. Exercise is good. For example, when I started jogging, I felt more energetic and less stressed. The second answer is so much better, right?
Definitely. It sounds real and convincing. Listeners, let's practice. Question. Why is learning English important for you? Try to answer with one example.
Pause. 6 seconds.
Possible answer. Learning English is important for me because I want to study abroad. For example, most universities in Europe require English for international students.
Perfect. Now, I think we should talk about body language. Even though this is a podcast and people can't see us, in real life body language makes a big difference.
Absolutely. When you speak, don't just use your words. Use your hands, your face, and your posture. If you stand straight, look at people, and smile, you already sound more confident and intelligent.
Yes. Imagine someone says, I think English is important. But they look down and mumble. It doesn't sound strong. But if they look into your eyes, raise their voice slightly and say, I believe English is important for everyone. Suddenly it's powerful.
Exactly. So listeners, next time you practice speaking, try to record yourself on video. Watch your posture, gestures, and expressions. You'll learn a lot. Now let's play another game. Quick response challenge. I will ask you random questions, and you must answer immediately, without thinking too much.
Okay, ready?
What's your favorite season and why?
Summer, because I can travel and enjoy the beach.
What's something you learned recently?
I learned how to cook a new pasta recipe.
If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Flying, because I want to see the world from above.
Perfect. See, short but clear answers. Listeners, now it's your turn. I'll ask you 3 quick questions. Answer fast. 1. What's your favorite food? 2. What do you usually do after work or school? 3. If you could visit any country, which one would you choose?
Pause. 10 seconds.
Great job. The goal is not to be perfect, but to train your reflexes. Another powerful technique, paraphrasing. Sometimes you don't know a specific word. Don't stop. Use other words to explain.
Yes. For example, if you forget the word pharmacist, you can say, the person who works in a pharmacy and gives medicine. That way, people still understand you.
Exactly. And you sound intelligent because you don't give up. Let's try. I'll give you a word, and you paraphrase it. Word library.
A place where you can read or borrow books.
Good. Next word, pilot.
The person who flies an airplane.
Perfect. Listeners, your turn. Word, chef. Try to describe it without using the word itself.
Pause, 6 seconds.
Possible answer. The person who cooks in a restaurant. Yes, that's paraphrasing. It helps you keep speaking even when you forget a word. Let's also remind our listeners about active listening. To respond quickly and intelligently, you must really listen to the other person.
Exactly. Many learners prepare their answer before the other person even finishes speaking. But sometimes the topic changes, and then your answer looks strange. This is the reason why active listening is very important. Listen more, prepare less.
Yes, the age-old struggle. It all boils down to stress, doesn't it? Stress is the ultimate enemy of quick thinking. That moment of panic when your brain just hits a wall.
Exactly. And that's where the power of the pause comes in. Silence is not your enemy. It's your friend. If someone throws a question your way, give yourself a second, maybe two before you dive in. Just a quick breath, a smile, and then speak.
Spot on. And here's a pro tip. Have some filler phrases ready to go. Things like, that's an interesting question, or I've never really thought about that before, or even just a simple, well, let me see.
Those are golden. They buy you thinking time and, surprisingly, make you sound more confident and composed. It's like a Jedi mind trick for conversations.
Okay, listeners, let's put this into action. I'm going to ask you a question. First, take a 2-second pause, and then use one of those filler phrases before you answer. Ready? Here it is. Do you think artificial intelligence is dangerous?
See, if you jumped in with, that's an interesting question, I think you're already winning. It's all about creating that space for yourself.
Now, let's move on to another crucial point. Simplicity. Use simple sentence structures well. You don't need to bust out the most complicated grammar to sound smart. In fact, clear and simple English is often far more effective.
Absolutely. It's about conveying your message effectively. Take these 2 sentences, for example. In my personal opinion, I am of the belief that technological advancement provides significant benefits to humankind. Or, I believe technology gives many benefits to people. Which one sounds more impactful?
The second one, hands down. It's shorter, clearer, and still gets the intelligent point across. Simplicity is the name of the game.
All right, let's talk about how to navigate disagreements politely. Because let's face it, sometimes you need to say no without sounding like a jerk.
Exactly. So instead of just flat out saying, no, you're wrong, try something like, I see your point, but I think differently, or that's true, but we also need to consider, or even I understand your idea, however I believe.
Those phrases are gold. They show respect for the other person's opinion, which, in turn, makes you sound more thoughtful and, yes, intelligent.
Okay, let's practice. I'm going to say something, and you disagree politely. Ready? Here it is. I think everyone should study abroad.
All right, I understand your idea. Studying abroad is amazing, but not everyone can afford it, so local education can also be valuable.
Perfect. See how that works? It's all about acknowledging the other person's perspective while still holding your ground. Now, listeners, it's your turn. Here's a statement. Online learning is better than classroom learning. Disagree politely.
Remember, politeness plus clarity equals perceived intelligence. It's a winning combination.
Let's spice things up with a little impromptu speaking challenge. Impromptu, meaning speaking without any preparation. This is where the rubber really meets the road when it comes to thinking on your feet.
That's right. So, let's do a 1-minute challenge. I'll give you a topic, and you have to speak for 1 minute straight, without stopping.
Sounds like fun. Hit me with it.
All right, your topic. The importance of reading.
Reading is very important in our lives. First of all, it gives us knowledge. For example, when I read history books, I understand how people lived in the past. Second, reading improves my language. I learn new vocabulary and grammar naturally. Finally, reading helps me relax. After a long day, reading a novel is like traveling into another world. So, I believe reading is one of the best habits we can develop.
Wow, that was excellent. Structured, clear, and with great examples. Now, listeners, it's your turn. Your topic, the benefits of learning English. Try to speak for 1 minute. Don't stop, even if you stumble.
Remember, even if you make mistakes, the practice is what trains your brain to think quickly and articulate your thoughts.
Another nifty trick, use questions in your answers. When you toss in a rhetorical question, you instantly sound more thoughtful and engaging.
For example, if someone asks you, "Why do you like traveling?" you could respond with, "It doesn't love discovering new places? Traveling allows me to experience new cultures and meet new people."
See how that works? Adding that little question inside your answer makes it more captivating. Let's try it. Question, why is health important? Use a rhetorical question in your answer.
For example, without health, what else matters? If we are healthy, we can work, study, and enjoy life.
Now, let's talk about summarizing your ideas. At the end of your answer, give a short, punchy conclusion. It shows you can wrap things up neatly.
Yes. For example, if someone asks, "Why do you like your job?" you could say, "I like my job because it challenges me, I learn new skills, and I can help people." In short, it makes me feel useful and motivated.
That last line, in short, is super effective. It signals that you're about to deliver a concise takeaway. Now, listeners, it's your turn. Question, why is exercise important? Give 2 or 3 reasons, then finish with in short.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of the techniques we've covered so far. Pausing and using filler phrases, speaking simply but clearly, agreeing and disagreeing politely, impromptu speaking, using rhetorical questions, and summarizing with short conclusions.
That's a pretty impressive toolkit already. But remember, these aren't just abstract concepts. You need to practice them regularly.
Exactly. Even just 5 minutes of practice a day can make a huge difference in just a few weeks. Now, here's something else that can really help people think quickly: patterns.
Ah, yes. Patterns are like templates that give your brain a framework to work with. You just fill in the blanks.
Exactly. For example, "I believe because," or "in my opinion, but," or "the best thing about is," or "one reason why is."
These structures are simple, but they give your brain something to hold on to, preventing that deer-in-the-headlights feeling. Let's put them into practice. Question, why is teamwork important? Using the pattern, one reason why is...
One reason why teamwork is important is that it helps people share skills and support each other.
Nice. Now, listeners, it's your turn. Question, why is learning English useful? Use the same pattern.
Another trick is using contrast words, words like however, although, but, on the other hand. They add depth and nuance to your answers.
Yes. For example, I enjoy social media because it connects me with friends. However, I know it can also waste a lot of time.
That's a perfect balance. You show two sides of the coin, which is a sign of intelligent thought. Listeners, try it. Question, do you like big cities? Use however in your answer.
Possible answer, I like big cities because there are many opportunities. However, they're often crowded and noisy.
Now, let's add another skill. Using time expressions. Placing your ideas in time can make your answers sound more organized and sophisticated.
Yes, think of words like in the past, nowadays, in the future. For example, in the past, people learned languages only in school. Nowadays, we can learn online. In the future, technology will make it even easier.
That's a clear and intelligent structure. Listeners, your turn. Question, how has technology changed communication? Use in the past, nowadays, in the future.
Example, in the past, people wrote letters. Nowadays, we send messages instantly. In the future, maybe we will communicate with holograms.
Let's move on to numbers and facts.
So in short, teamwork makes success easier.
That's a mic drop ending. All right, listeners, practice finishing your answers with one of those phrases.
Okay, now let's jump into another powerful way to sound intelligent. Using contrast like the more.
Oh, this is a classic. It's simple, but creates a really nice rhythm. For example, the more you practice, the more confident you become.
Or, the more we read, the more we know. It's almost poetic. Listeners, it's your turn. Question: why is practice important? Answer with the more.
Pause. 7 seconds.
Next up, we have the technique of using without. This is a great way to show necessity and make your point more impactful.
Definitely. It highlights the essential nature of something. For example, without practice, you cannot improve, or without health, life becomes difficult.
Simple but strong. Listeners, try this one. Question: why is education important? Start with without.
Pause. 8 seconds.
All right, now let's show our listeners how to predict outcomes. This is all about sounding visionary and forward-thinking.
Exactly. When you say what will happen, it shows you're thinking ahead. For example, if people keep using too much plastic, the environment will suffer greatly in the future.
Yes, it makes your answer more impactful. Listeners, your turn. Question: what will happen if people don't exercise?
Pause. 7 seconds.
Okay, let's move on to using contrast pairs. Not only, but also both and either or.
These are fantastic for showing the different facets of a situation. For example, learning English is not only good for communication, but also for your career.
Or, both reading and traveling teach us new perspectives. Listeners, make one sentence with both and.
Pause. 5 seconds.
All right, are you ready for a mock panel discussion?
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to give a short opinion on a global topic. What should countries do about climate change?
Countries should work together. First, they need to reduce pollution. Second, they must invest in renewable energy. And finally, they should educate people about sustainable habits.
Perfect. 3 points, structured and intelligent. All right, listeners, it's your turn. Same question. What should countries do about climate change? Give us your 3 points.
Pause. 15 seconds.
Now, let's talk about using contrast in time, back then versus now.
This is a great way to show how things have evolved. For example, back then, people wrote letters. Now, we send instant messages.
It adds a sense of dynamism to your answer. Listeners, try it. Question: how has travel changed? Use back then and now.
Pause. 8 seconds.
All right, let's also practice expressing possibility. This is all about showing that you're open to different outcomes.
Yes. Use words like might, could, may, possibly. Example: in the future, people might live on Mars.
Or, technology could solve many problems. Listeners, it's your turn. Question: what might schools look like in 50 years?
Pause. 10 seconds.
Now, let's move on to explaining importance what depends on.
This is a great way to show that you understand nuance and that things aren't always black and white. For example, success depends on hard work.
Or, good communication depends on listening carefully. Listeners, try it. Question: what does happiness depend on?
Pause. 8 seconds.
All right, let's try agreeing and expanding. This is a great skill for conversations and showing you're actively listening.
Exactly. You agree with someone and then add your own idea to build on their point. Example: person A says, exercise is healthy. Person B says, yes, I agree. And it also helps people build discipline.
It shows you're engaged and thoughtful. Listeners, let's practice this. Imagine I say, English is important. Agree and expand.
Pause. 7 seconds.
Okay, are you ready for a speed vocabulary challenge?
Let's do it. Give me the words.
Word: challenge.
Learning English is a challenge, but it's worth it.
Word: opportunity.
Traveling gives us the opportunity to learn new cultures.
Word: confidence.
Speaking every day builds confidence.
Perfect. Listeners, here are 3 words for you. knowledge, future, health. Make one quick sentence with each.
Pause, 15 seconds.
All right, let's teach our listeners how to express contrast with while at the same time.
This is a more sophisticated way to show different sides of something. For example, while learning English is difficult, at the same time it is exciting.
Smooth and intelligent, exactly. Listeners, try it. Question: is technology good or bad? Use while at the same time.
Pause, 8 seconds.
Now, let's try ending with a question. This is a great way to keep the conversation going.
Exactly. It shows you're interested in the other person's opinion. For example, I think traveling is important because it teaches us a lot. Don't you agree?
Listeners, practice this. Your topic: why is reading important? Give your answer and end with a question.
Okay, now let's explore another technique, using contrasts between advantages and disadvantages. This makes you sound logical and balanced.
Definitely. You're showing you've considered both sides of the coin. For example, one advantage of social media is easy communication. One disadvantage is addiction.
Simple, but super effective. Listeners, your turn. Question: what are the advantages and disadvantages of online learning?
Pause, 12 seconds.
All right, next tip. Use, for example, often. This is a classic for a reason. Examples make your ideas concrete and relatable.
They really bring your point to life. Compare these. Exercise is good versus exercise is good. For example, jogging every morning makes me feel fresh and energetic.
Huge difference. The second one is much stronger. Listeners, practice this. Question: why is English useful? Add one example.
Pause, 8 seconds.
Okay, let's talk about explaining steps. When you explain something step by step, you sound clear and organized.
You're essentially providing a roadmap for your listeners. For example, if you want to improve speaking, first listen every day, second repeat aloud, and third practice with a partner.
Nice and actionable. Listeners, try it. Question: how can we stay healthy? Give 3 steps.
Pause, 12 seconds.
Another great exercise. Expand your answers. Many learners give only one sentence, but adding just one reason or example can make it so much richer.
Absolutely. It shows you've thought about it more deeply. For example, question: do you like music? Weak answer: yes, I like music. Stronger answer: yes, I like music because it helps me relax after work.
Much better. Listeners, your turn. Question: do you like sports? Expand your answer.
Pause, 8 seconds.
All right, now let's talk about expressing agreement with style. Ditch the boring "I agree" and level up your language.
Yes. Instead of just "I agree," try "that's exactly how I feel," "I couldn't agree more," or "that makes perfect sense."
These sound so much more natural and intelligent. Listeners, practice this. Imagine I say, "English is important." Respond with a stylish agreement phrase.
Pause, 6 seconds.
Another really powerful trick: turn negatives into positives.
Oh, this is gold, especially in interviews. Example: question: what is your weakness? Answer: I sometimes focus too much on details, but that helps me produce high-quality work.
Smart and professional. Listeners, your turn. Question: what is one weakness you have? Answer by turning it into a positive.
Pause, 12 seconds.
Now, let's also practice brainstorming out loud. This is super useful when you don't know the answer right away.
Exactly. You're showing your thought process. Example: question: what should governments do about pollution? Answer: well, let me think. First, they could reduce car use. Second, they might invest in clean energy. And maybe they should also educate people.
It sounds intelligent, even if you're just thinking on the spot. Listeners, your turn. Question: what can schools do to help students? Think aloud and give 2 or 3 ideas.
Pause, 15 seconds.
All right, now for a fun activity. 1-minute stories. This is all about bringing in emotion and making a connection with your listeners.
I love this one. It's a great way to practice fluency and storytelling. Example: topic: my favorite teacher. When I was in high school, I had an English teacher who was very kind. She always encouraged us to speak, even when we made mistakes. Because of her, I became more confident in English. She changed my life.
That's emotional and engaging. Listeners, your topic. A time you felt proud. Tell us your 1-minute story.
Pause, 20 seconds.
Okay, let's also cover expressing surprise and interest. These reactions make conversations feel so much more natural.
Yes, it's about being an active listener. Phrases like, really? That's interesting. Wow, I didn't know that. Or that sounds amazing.
Simple, but they make you sound engaged and like you're actually listening. Listeners, practice this. Imagine your friend says, I climbed a mountain last weekend. Respond with one of these phrases.
Pause, 5 seconds.
Another tip. Paraphrase the question before answering. This is a brilliant way to buy yourself some thinking time, and it also shows you're listening carefully.
Exactly. You're essentially confirming you understand the question. Example. Question. Why do people read books? Answer. Why do people read books? I think they read because it gives them knowledge and relaxation.
Perfect. Listeners, your turn. Question. Why do people travel? Paraphrase the question, then answer.
Pause, 8 seconds.
All right, before we wrap up this part, let's share some more elegant openers for your answers. These are all about making a strong first impression.
These can make you sound articulate from the get-go. That's a fascinating question. Well, from my perspective, I think the key point is, or let me explain it this way.
Stylish and confident. Example. That's a fascinating question. From my perspective, education is the foundation of progress.
Listeners, try using one of these openers in your next conversation.
Wow, what a journey! We've covered so many techniques, strategies, and exercises about how to think quickly and speak intelligently in English.
Yes, we did. Let's quickly review the key points for our listeners.
First, use smart phrases to buy yourself time to think. No need to rush.
Organize your answers with structures, like the rule of 3, or highlighting cause and effect.
Practice quick responses, get comfortable with role plays, and tell those 1-minute stories to boost your fluency.
Balance your answers. Show you can see different sides of a situation by using pros and cons, comparing the past and present, and highlighting contrasts.
Focus on simple but powerful words, clear sentence structure, and confident intonation. You don't need to be Shakespeare.
And finally, add those examples, emotions, comparisons, and rhetorical questions to sound more engaging and connect with your audience.
Exactly. And remember, don't fear making mistakes. Fluency and clarity are more important than perfect grammar. People appreciate the effort.
That's right. You don't need perfect English to sound smart. You just need clarity, structure, confidence, and practice.
So here's our final challenge for you. Pick one of the techniques we taught today, maybe storytelling, maybe yes, but maybe the 1-minute talk, and practice it today. Not tomorrow. Today.
Get out there and put these skills to work. You've got this.
Thanks for joining us today. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and remember, speaking intelligently starts with thinking positively.